Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about a very interesting project that I recently researched, and this project is called Boson Protocol or Boson, right? Again, as always guys, if you guys want to do your own research, which I highly recommend you guys to do, you can go to their website bosonprotocol.io and learn more about their project, right? So if you look at their website is jam-packed with a lot of information. So let's decipher everything in detail. So open tokenized economy for commerce become part of the future of commerce. So those are some of the most important, selling features for this project. And if you see, they right off the bat, they have basically presented the website with a lot of investors and partners whom they're working with. Some of the names include, Ocean Protocol, LED, DuckDAO, Moonwhale, and so on and so forth, right? So some of the really, some investors are well known, but majority of them are less well known. So let's go to what is Boson Protocol. Boson Protocol is basically a protocol that automates digital to physical redemptions, right? With minimized arbitration using NFTs encoded with game theory. So what they aim to do is, if you want to, let's say you have an NFT and that NFT is basically backed by something of actual physical, a substance. If you want to, redeem it, you have to go through certain issues because there's not a lot of places that can be used to redeem an NFT for a physical item, and there's not a lot of automation involved in it. You have to kind of manually do it yourself, right? But Boson protocol basically aims to automate this process from a digital to physical redemption of NFTs or tokens, right? With minimized arbitration. So you won't have to worry about any form of arbitration, or the arbitration for any of your NFTs or collectibles that you're applying to get physical redemption for will be very little. And this is basically based on NFTs encoded with their game theory, right? So they're basically using NFTs as a means by which they are making this automated, and that's a very interesting value proposition. So if you guys don't really understand that, it's a complicated concept. I totally understand that it's a complicated concept, but bear with me, we will go through this together, right? So in Boson protocol, you have basically the buyer and the seller. The buyer basically creates profiles and preferences on the Boson protocol website, and the seller basically needs to have their reputation, because they need to be able to sell things that are legit, right? So the reputation is basically verified on the Boson protocol. And if you see, Boson protocol offers this interface where the digital value is basically transacted between the buyer and the seller, and the products and services pass through the Boson protocol, as well as the data for transmitting this information, right? So it's basically a marketplace that facilitates, it's basically like Amazon, but it's a marketplace completely built on DeFi, right? So that's a very interesting picture that provides, at least peripheral information for newcomers to understand this project. Be part of a capture-resistant decentralized commerce ecosystem. So it's basically an e-commerce ecosystem, but it's done fully in a decentralized manner using using NFTs that they use in their game theory. They're basically aiming to automate redemptions, right? And Boson protocol is the foundational Web3 primitive that unlocks two planetary scale value pools. So they're basically stating that they are unlocking two important planetary scale value pools, and one of it is basically a public infrastructure for coordinating commerce transaction. So you need a public interface. So it's like if you buy something from Amazon, it's going to the Amazon Web Service server, which has the database of all the products that you particularly want from a particular warehouse, and then relays the information in order to enable the product to be purchased by you, right? But Boson protocol basically uses the exact same mechanism to a similar extent, and it does it in a public infrastructure, public web-based infrastructure to enable e-commerce transactions, a Web3 commerce data marketplace. So basically, you need these two components in order for the protocol to essentially function properly. And the first thing is basically the public infrastructure for coordinating commerce transactions, and a Web3 commerce data marketplace, right? A commerce data marketplace, right? So you basically need a data marketplace that can be a repository of people who want to sell things and people who want to buy things, all completely done in a decentralized manner, right? So enable smart contracts to exchange digital value for physical products and services with minimized arbitration, cost, and trust, right? So again, this is one of the most key features for Boson protocol. You can use smart contracts, okay, from the Boson protocol platform to exchange digital value, okay, for physical products. So you can basically buy and sell using Boson protocol. You can basically buy physical products from Boson protocol in a completely trustless, very cost effective, as well as with very minimum arbitration, right? Whereas the other feature of Boson protocol basically provides exchange and monetize secure Web3 customer data demographics and product preference data. So you will be whenever you make an interaction with the Boson protocol to purchase physical items in a trustless, decentralized manner, you would be able to exchange digital tokens in return for actual assets or actual physical commodities, and thereby either providing enabling a monetization of this platform, and also to while you're interacting, your customer data and demographics would be collected, not in the bad way though, but in a decentralized manner, which helps buyers and sellers link and provide better efficient transactions to happen, right? So overall, it's a very great protocol. It basically aims to be the Amazon of blockchain, except in a very positive and a less privacy invasive manner, right? Which will be something that we would be needing for the long run. You can also read through the light paper if you guys feel like for some reason the explanation is still not very clear. I highly recommend you guys to read through the light paper and make it as a part of your research for this project, right? So what is the opportunity that's being presented here, right? Things, money, and data, an open tokenized economy. So again, one of the main key problems that has been existing in the crypto space is that people basically work with digital assets, which is completely in the early phase right now, and there are critics of crypto who want to see crypto kind of deliver some real world use case, such as, let's say for example, if you want to go to a grocery store, how will DeFi or cryptocurrency, the ecosystem, kind of help for day-to-day activities where we would need to provide fiat money to purchase groceries or any form of products online, right? How does this happen on the cryptocurrency space, and how can this be brought into the DeFi space, right? And the opportunity is basically being tackled on by Boson protocol, and they aim to make data, money, as well as objects or commodities available in the open public in an e-commerce friendly way, right? So if you see, instead of e-commerce, it's going to be called as D-commerce or hashtag D-commerce, which is decentralized commerce. And this is basically, this is the main problem that is currently being faced right now. There are money and data that's being transferred, because if you see money, every cryptocurrency has some form of a value proposition where at the basis of the cryptocurrency's underlying use case, they aim to be money, right? An alternate form of money, right? Data there are specific cryptocurrencies that aim to transmit data, such as Chainlink, that aims to transmit real life data into the cryptocurrency ecosystem, such as DeFi, and powers up DeFi ecosystems, right? And if you see Ocean protocol, which is also a very key player that aims to store data and bring in information. Another example is also going to be Filecoin. If you see things, this is one of the missing puzzles, because if you see when you purchase something, you're basically purchasing something which is digital. You're not actually getting a physical commodity, and this has been one of the main drawbacks of DeFi. Even though it's still very early in the cryptocurrency space, real life use cases are very hard to come by, because these three circles don't really overlap, and that's why the e-commerce, or in this case D-commerce, is not really happening, right? But Boson protocol aims to solve this, the real world and the metaverse connected. So Boson protocol aims to connect the real world with the metaverse, and that's basically how it's going to be addressing this challenge that we discussed right now. Boson protocol disrupts e-commerce platforms by tokenizing things and their commerce data within a liquid digital market built on DeFi, right? So again, very well explained here. Basically, what they're stating is e-commerce has been a centralized place that has been dominating the world, especially with Amazon being the key player in the e-commerce space right now. And Boson protocol aims to disrupt the e-commerce, which is basically the centralized version of commerce, by tokenizing things. So you can basically tokenize, let's say for example, you select your groceries, right, from shops. You can tokenize your grocery into a particular NFT based token, which is ERC721 based token, or some other specific token on Boson protocol, right? And their commerce data within the liquid digital market built on DeFi. So not only can you tokenize your real life assets, okay, which are highly specific to you. Let's say you may have a grocery bag with milk, frozen pizza, fruits and vegetables and so on and so forth. Another person may have, meat as well as canned food or whatever, right? So you and the other customer have your own grocery bags full of unique items, right? So with the help of Boson protocol, you can basically tokenize your grocery bag and the data, right, that you have used to buy these groceries, and that is basically going to be used in Boson protocol in order to facilitate effective decentralized commerce, or D-commerce, in the completely built using the principles of DeFi, right? So that's pretty mind-blowing in my opinion. Boson protocol's vision is to enable a decentralized commerce ecosystem by funding and accelerating the development of a stack of specialist applications to disrupt, unbundle, and democratize commerce, right? Very well said. Again, something that is very important for everyone to understand if you are to invest in this project specifically. So basically, we'll break that further, right? Boson protocol's vision is to enable a decentralized commerce ecosystem. So that's their main goal. They want to establish, they want to bring the control of e-commerce back to the people, and they're doing this by funding and accelerating the development of stack of specialist applications. So they're basically Boson protocol will have a stack of different decentralized applications or specialized applications that will enable Boson protocol to achieve this goal, and this will kind of like act as the ecosystem that powers to disrupt the current centralized e-commerce, right, and to bring democracy into the commerce. So that's pretty much very well explained. If you guys don't really understand that even further, I suggest you guys to read through this multiple times and try to imagine the scenario where when you buy something from Amazon, it's happening in a centralized manner. Imagine ordering something online, but you are not really passing through a centralized server, but you're getting your products in a decentralized manner where your data is not being tracked to serve you with invasive ads, but instead your data is going to be used to serve the purpose of the overall protocol and to make it easier and efficient for you to purchase items and real physical items in the world, in an efficient way, right? That's basically what Boson protocol is aiming to do. We call this decentralized autonomous commerce. So DAC, which is a new term that they're trying to coin, because we have heard about DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, but Boson protocol aims to create decentralized autonomous commerce, or DACs, right? Which is a very interesting move by Boson protocol, and a very bold move as well, right? Again, they have some really cool graphics as well on their website. We eliminate intermediaries, replacing them with minimally extractive fees and minimizing arbitration cost and friction, right? So what they overall aim to do when it comes to user experience is they basically try to make it like somewhat like a peer-to-peer kind of like transaction, where if you were to buy something, let's say you were to buy a watch, Amazon or some other intermediary centralized party will kind of take a cut, right? And you are basically left with paying slightly higher price. You have to sometimes undergo this friction, and we are basically under the watchful eyes of this third party platform that is facilitating you to make this purchase, and you're also suffering from arbitration, right? That's how centralized e-commerce works, whereas decentralized e-commerce aims to basically bring you, very minimal fees, make it very peer-to-peer and decentralized, obviously, and also to reduce reduce arbitration as well as cost and friction between you as well as the person who is selling you things, and that's basically the overall end goal of Boson protocol, right? So again, if you see, it's a very well explained diagram. Here you kind of have this wormhole which enables you to buy groceries or products or anything from the source directly to you through this Ethereum based channel, right? And it's very symbolic in a way, where you're kind of removing the middleman and you're including Boson protocol that enables you to do this. Very well presented diagram. Boson provides a commerce interface between the metaverse and the physical world, in which a commitment to buy and sell is tokenized as a futures contract for a thing represented by NFT commitment token. Again, they are now drilling deep into the mechanics of how it's working. So whenever you commit to buy and sell, let's say like a commodity, it is basically tokenized as a futures contract. So it's basically tokenized as a futures contract for a thing, and it's represented by NFT commitment token. So it's basically tokenized, and that is basically going to be tokenized as a commitment for buying and selling, right? That's how it works at the back end. Each type of NFT commitment token can be purchased with a specific thing token. So again, any form of a commitment, NFT commitment that you have expressed can be purchased with a specific thing token. Anyone can plug into the Boson protocol ecosystem for instant e-commerce capabilities, right? So it is completely free for all. There is no restrictions, and it's going to be instant use for all, right? So very, very important key features. The technology overview, powering exchange. So commitment NFTs, or commitment tokens called NFTs, commitments are made by depositing digital value into an escrow contract represented by stateful non-fungible commitment token, enabling automated digital to physical redemption. Again, if you take, for example, as I mentioned, whenever you want to buy something, your commitment is tokenized to form an NFT, which can also be purchased and sold and redeemed for the actual physical good, which is pretty good. Core exchange mechanism. Boson's core mechanism is a type of sequential game where the rules and the deposit transfer scheme are designed to coordinate transactions and incentivize parties to behave fairly. So again, how do you know that the person who's trying to sell you something is actually real? So they have this core exchange mechanism feature that has a sequential type of sequential game theory that enables that the person who is interacting with you is going to be legit and is going to behave fairly, right? And if you see thing tokens, there's something called the thing tokens. Each type of commitment token can be purchased with a specific thing token which follows the ERC20 standard. Thing tokens plug into DeFi infrastructure, enabling liquid digital markets for anything. So there are back-end tokens called thing tokens, and these tokens basically enable, these are ERC20 tokens, so basically it's run on the Ethereum blockchain. These can basically plug with the smart contracts of the Boson protocol, enabling liquid digital markets for any of these kind of thing tokens, right? Web3 data marketplace monetizes customer and seller data in a self-sovereign and privacy-preserving way. Again, as I mentioned before, your data is being collected because they want to know. Again, the protocol itself collects the data. The protocol needs to know what you are buying and how to optimize your user experience even further. And that's the main reason why the data is collected. It is not going to give you invasive ads like how many other platforms do in the centralized world, and it's going to basically ensure that whatever data is being collected from you on what you are trying to purchase, what items you're trying to look at, or what you're trying to potentially purchase in the future, all those information is recorded in the smart contract in a privacy preserved way, obviously because it's a decentralized ecosystem, right? So powering ecosystem. So when it comes to the ecosystem itself, what are the main functionalities of the ecosystem, right? There's governance component, there's curation markets, the supply and demand mining, and ecosystem fund, right? So let's cover each of them quickly in detail. Governance. Boson tokens are used to govern Boson protocol, ensuring consensus around critical decisions and controlling the issuance of funds from the eCommerce DAO. So again, as like every DeFi project, this project also has its native governance token, and this token is called Boson, and it's basically used to ensure consensus around critical decisions. So you, again, when it comes to making critical decisions, Boson holders can have a say in the protocol's governance and in controlling the issuance of funds from the eCommerce DAO. So there is a eCommerce DAO fund, and how that fund would be used would be based on the the decisions made by Boson token holders, right? Curation markets, participation in staking, and therefore the curation of offers is incentivized by rewarding users with Boson tokens. So you are basically allowed to stake your tokens and thereby curate offers, right? And in return for curating offers, you will basically be incentivized by being rewarded with Boson tokens. Supply and demand mining. Boson enables supply and demand acquisition by incentivizing sellers, buyers, and aggregators, right? So again, by using Boson tokens, you can enable supply and demand acquisition by incentivizing not only the buyers and sellers but also the aggregators, right? Ecosystem fund. Following the principles of a Web3 sustainability model, the eCommerce DAO will be community governed funding the growth of the eCommerce ecosystem. So again, whenever you interact, there will be a small fee which will go into the DAO fund, which will definitely be used by Boson holders to drive the future of the ecosystem, right? Again, pretty cool concept. They have pretty much covered everything pretty detailed, pretty much in detail about the project. You can clearly see they have information about their founders and their LinkedIn and Twitter articles, which you can click on to see what other projects they're involved in, so that you can make much more of a personalized decision on whether you believe that this project is going to succeed. Because again, sometimes the founders of a project may be one of the main reasons why people don't really invest, because if there's an anonymous project or an anonymous team, the regular retail investors will be worried to invest on a project. But since the founders or the advisors of this project are very much open, and you can literally see through their social media accounts, that will probably help people to bring some confidence in their minds before they invest in this project, right? So why is eCommerce the future? Decentralized infrastructure for the autonomous exchange of digital value for physical things and their data. So again, one of the main reasons why e-commerce would be the future is basically cost minimized. Progressive decentralization challenges the monopolistic extraction and rent-seeking behavior of centralized commerce incumbents. Again, one of the main key features of decentralized e-commerce is going to be cost reduction. It's going to definitely reduce cost and make it more efficient for people to participate. Reliable resolution is based on practical atomicity. Either an exchange happens or it does not happen at all. Again, of course, when it comes to buying something, you obviously need to buy it because you want it. You shouldn't really buy it based on the ads or something kind of like pushing you to buy something, right? So it's basically an organic way, and it's reliable, and that's one of the reasons why decentralized e-commerce is going to be very famous. Trustless mediation, arbitration, and reversal are automated in a dynamic game where incentive rewards decrease the need for human arbitration over time. Again, you are going to be able to participate in the ecosystem in a trustless way to minimize arbitration. Rich data, planetary level Web3 data marketplace for commerce incentivizes voluntary data sharing by providing an equitable distribution of proceeds, right? So you are basically sharing data, and this basically this data is very important for the ecosystem, because you'll be able to use not only your data but also from people who are interacting with the protocol, and their data will help you optimize whatever you are getting is the best for you, right? So that's basically the main focus of this project. What can you build on Bosons? You can basically build several things on Bosons. I'm going to quickly cover the headings alone. If you see, you can build games, you can build iGaming, you can do physical twins of digital art, loyalty and rewards, online commerce, crypto exchanges, tokenized networks, as well as machine-to-machine commerce, right? Very vibrant use cases for Boson protocol. Let's rethink how companies, humans, and machines transact. Again, they're basically inviting all of us for a decentralized e-commerce environment, which is completely trustless, with low fees and minimal arbitration, right? So they want to basically build the future of decentralized commerce or e-commerce, and that's pretty cool. So again, I suggest you guys to read through their white paper as well as their other information. You can also go through their Medium post to see what kind of updates they're posting, and also use their team members' LinkedIn and Twitter pages to learn more about what kind of projects the team members are currently being involved in, right? Again, let's go to the CoinGecko page for Boson protocol. The token is currently ranked 481st by market cap on CoinGecko, and it's currently trading at $4.11 with a recent decrease of 3.1% in the past 24 hours, right? Again, it's a really new token. It only recently had its seed sale done, and now it's currently available to trade in the open market. If you see the market cap, again, $67.9 million, right? If you take Amazon, the most valuable company in the world, and the most and the founder of Amazon is the richest person in the world. If you take how much Amazon has grown in the recent years, especially last year during the middle of a pandemic, you can basically see that that is kind of like the pace where e-commerce is currently growing, right? If you take Boson protocol, it's basically aiming to do the exact same thing, except that it's going to be fully decentralized, right? So for a project that aims to do something that Amazon is doing, or even any e-commerce project is doing in a decentralized manner, for that project to have a market cap of 67.9 million, this is incredibly undervalued, right? Again, this is something that you guys have to think for the long run. This is a project that will continue to survive, and it will overthrow the centralized system right now. And for a project to aim to do that, or a project that is aiming to completely overthrow the current centralized system, to be $67 million in market cap, it's actually hugely undervalued, right? And by getting in early, you are basically rewriting history and being a part of the D-commerce ecosystem, not the e-commerce ecosystem, right? So if you see, the max supply of this token is basically 200 million tokens. Again, my personal preference would be 100 million or less when I do research on projects, but this project aims to kind of like overthrow the current e-commerce ecosystem that's centralized, and it's coming to replace it with decentralized commerce. And for a project that aims to do such great things in the future, I can kind of like oversee the max supply of this token for this project, right? And if you see the circulating supply, there's only 16.2 million tokens out of the 200 million tokens that's currently in circulation. Obviously, you can expect to see a decent amount of short-term inflation, because as new tokens are being injected into the market, there will be price slumping. We've discussed this in numerous videos, and that's something that's going to be the case for most of the tokens, and this token is not going to be any different, right? But again, I believe that based on the strong fundamentals, you can kind of oversee these two factors. And also, if you see the market cap, it's definitely extremely undervalued, right? Let's look at the charts for Boson protocol. You can clearly see that there's not a lot of data available. You can clearly see that the data is available only from the 9th of April, which is basically like, from the end of last week, where the token price was trading at $4.40, and it suddenly crashed to $3.50, and then it reached an all-time high of $5.28, going back down, and it's been in a downtrend, currently stabilizing at around $4.17 range, right? I do believe that this token has a potential to go down even further, and probably even test the price of $3.50 range. But again, it's still relatively new, and this value of $5.28, it really can't be considered as a all-time high, because the data is very very new, and this token still has a long way to go, right? It's extremely undervalued. If you look at the Bitcoin comparative, on the other hand, you can clearly see that the pattern is pretty similar. Again, it was trading at around 7,600 satoshis on 9th of April, and then reached an all-time highs of about 9,000 satoshis, although we can't really call it as an all-time high because it's still very new. Now it's kind of like stabilizing at 6,800 satoshis, right? If you see the Ethereum comparative, again, exact same as Bitcoin comparative, and there's no real difference with the ETH comparative as well, right? If you look at the exchanges, you can get it from KuCoin, and you can pretty much get it only from KuCoin and Bitfinex. The L Bank exchange, I wouldn't really trust that. But if you have an account in Bitfinex or KuCoin, I would highly recommend you guys to purchase it. Obviously, after doing your own research, again, not financial advice, but you can basically purchase it using USD as well as Ethereum. And on Bitfinex, you can basically buy it with UST, which is, I believe, the Terra stable coin of US dollars, called UST, right? So again, very little market. It's not even available on Uniswap. Again, you can also get it from gay.io, and that's pretty much it. If you guys want to purchase this token at an early stage, this is perfectly the right time to buy this token. Please do your own research. Don't put your money after watching this video. I'm not a financial advisor. This video does not contain financial advice, right? So what's my final verdict on this token? My final verdict is, for a project that aims to have such a powerful use case, and it aims to literally be the ultimate disruptor of e-commerce in a centralized way, I believe that this project has everything that it takes to initiate the path for decentralization to become mass adopted by everyone in this world. And it's basically using DeFi as its main means to achieve that, and I do believe that this project will definitely be successful in the long run. But I am going to keep my eyes on this project, because I do want to see how much further are they basically into implementing their expected goals. But if you look at the market cap for a very high quality project that it has very strong fundamentals, the market cap is extremely undervalued, and this was probably the best time to buy this token, right? This token has a high potential to like reach $10 by the end of this bull run, and it can, in the long run, it has a chance of even crossing like $20 to $30 range, and it can definitely the more it achieves in disrupting e-commerce, the higher the token price would be, and the more the ecosystem would be vibrant, right? And that's something that I'm pretty much looking into. I'm again looking to use some of my cash flow that I'll be getting pretty soon into this project, because I do have very high hopes for this project, right? Again, remember guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video guys. If you like my video, please click the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.